Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about the indictment of Donald Trump on January 6 election charges. It's just come down. We've just read it. It's a long speaking indictment. Jack Smith just left the stage after characteristically saying basically nothing, encouraging people to read the indictment. That's the stance he's going to take, even as Trump screams out falsehoods about it. But the indictment will have to speak for itself until the United States speaks in court. Very significant point number one, it is USA versus Donald Trump. But he's charged in a conspiracy. How can that be? They even identify by description, per DOJ policy, they do not name 6 co-conspirators. And I think we know who they are. I'll get to them in a minute. But it's just USA versus Trump. He stands alone. And I think, among other things, it shows Smith's resolve and strategicness about getting to trial fast. Indeed, in his very short remarks, it's the one thing he said: I want a speedy trial. So he is all over the idea of making this happen before the November 2024 election, and this now becomes the most likely vehicle. And I gotta say, the most important vehicle. In fact, it'll sound hyperbolic, but I don't think it is. It's the most important prosecution, I would say, in United States history, particularly intertwined as it is with this political season that will deliver a judgment from the legal system and the political system about the very rule of law itself, and crimes that were designed to subvert the very heart of it. Okay, 4 different charges, as we were expecting, more or less. One, a charge of conspiracy against the United States that basically has to do with the false electors and the different efforts in different states. And Trump, again, co-conspirator here to get people who had no entitlement to it because they represented Trump to be electors and to be substituted. Second, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, that being the actual January 6th certification, by trying to browbeat and fool and otherwise stiff arm Mike Pence into not following his constitutional duty, and to Trump's hopes, sowing chaos and delay. And then there's a substantive count, because there are 4 counts against him, of actually doing that. So there's a count of obstructing the January 6th proceeding, which of course it was obstructed. They reconvened in time to salvage it, but it absolutely was constructed. And then finally, the count we'd been waiting for, 18 U.S.C. 241, which is a deprivation. Many people had this right. I was looking for January 6th conduct. It's more of an umbrella count about the abridgment and deprivation of the right to vote and many different acts. So those are the charges. And 3 of them are conspiracies. Who are the co-conspirators? We will know that for certain, probably by tomorrow, but let me hazard guesses based on their descriptions. There are 6, 5 attorneys and a political consultant. I think the attorneys are John Eastman, Sidney Powell, possibly Jenna Ellis, Rudy Giuliani, and Jeff Clark from DOJ, and the political consultant, I believe, is Steve Bannon. None of them are charged. That doesn't mean they won't be. In fact, I think it's likely they will be. It's rather means that he wanted to keep it clean and streamlined for now, USA versus Trump. In fact, it'll be a very interesting kind of drama to see whether any of the 6 turn against him. Notice who's missing from this list of 6: Mark Meadows. And Meadows is nevertheless described in the indictment elsewhere, the chief of staff, etc. Put those 2 facts together. What do you get? To me, you get almost certainly Mark Meadows is a star cooperating witness. He's not charged as a co-conspirator, and yet he knows so much. He's so involved. He testified before the grand jury. I think he's absolutely going to be an important part of Smith's proof at trial. Okay, so the indictment itself, very long. Careful to say, this isn't about political speech. It's about breaking the law. It's about violence. It's about the effort to get at our democracy and the sacrosanct principle of a peaceful transfer of power. And Trump, including, there's a whole narrative about January 6th and all the things he's done and the mountain of evidence that Smith has assembled, we see in large part. Though again, I'll end here. We'll be back talking about this in the next few days for sure, but a very big thing to underscore. It's USA v. Donald Trump only, even though it's a conspiracy and there's 6 other conspirators. And that shows Smith is raring to go and built for speed, and he'll be from the start looking to do it. The very last tidbit to add, we now know who the judge is going to be, Judge Chutkan. She is a good pick. She's solid. She was in the D.C. Superior Court for several years and then was put on the D.C. District Court by Obama. She's someone who I think is considered fair but won't brook nonsense from Trump. There are a couple people that Trump could have drawn that would have been the equivalent of Eileen Cannon and made everyone sort of wince. Chutkan is not one of them. She's a good choice. And of course, above her stand a Court of Appeals that's been relatively impatient with some of the Trump hijinks and ready to slap him down quickly. So all in all, this sets up as the most auspicious possibility for a speedy trial and the most important charge, not just in this cluster of cases, but literally, I would say, in the history of the Department of Justice, because the conduct that it alleges is the most serious assault on democracy, perhaps second only to the Civil War, but it plays out in the high drama of a presidential election in which Trump has one chance, and that's to try to win the election and shut it down. Other than that, the indictment states a case that he will not be able to escape. His very best hope is first delay, second to maybe a hung jury, but he will be, if he doesn't become, if this prosecution isn't aborted, he will be convicted. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.